What's up, guys? I'm DK, and you're watching Pro Wrestling What If, the series where I look at the different what if scenarios as terms of the world that we call professional wrestling. WrestleMania 16, or in this case, WrestleMania 2000, happened on April 2nd, 2000 at the Arrowhead Pond, now known as the Honda Center, in Anaheim, California. A night where 90% of people remember about the Triangle Tag Team ladder match rather than the actual main event that took place that night of a fatal four-way match with a McMahon in every corner. We can all easily agree that out of all of the WrestleManias that took place during the Attitude Era, that this is the least favorite of them. But it might have been better had two of its biggest stars actually competed on the show. Undertaker would have a groin injury in September of 1999 and was going to be back in time for Royal Rumble. However, he would end up tearing his pectoral muscle before his return and would then not be able to recover in time for WrestleMania 2000. And Stone Cold Steve Austin, who had been dealing with neck issues again during the summer of 1999 and would be written off of TV during Survivor Series 1999 in order to surgically repair his neck, in which he wouldn't return to action for almost a year. So of course the topic of today's video is what if WrestleMania 2000 was booked different? And for this card I'm going to have exactly 9 matches, which is the amount of matches that actually took place during the actual WrestleMania 2000 card. And if you end up enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share this to all your friends, subscribe, and press the notification bell for when future episodes get released, and leave a comment down below about today's topic or suggesting a future topic for an episode of Pro Wrestling What If. So match number 1 of the card would be X-Pac versus Chris Jericho for the Intercontinental Championship. There were plans of originally having X-Pac get an Intercontinental Championship match against Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 2000 until X-Pac wanted to end his feud with Kane at the event instead. Hence why X-Pac ended up going over at No Way Out, and they scrambled to find a new blow-off match, which ended up being the tag team match with Kane and Rikishi against X-Pac and Road Dogg. I think the No Way Out match was going to be the blow-off match with Kane going over, so that way both men can go their separate ways, and I think that would have ended up being the case if we had Austin and Taker on the card. They had a singles match at Survivor Series, a steel cage match at Armageddon, and then a no-holds-barred match at No Way Out. The feud went longer than it should have, and you knew that there wasn't going to be a good stipulation after No Holds Barred. Hell in a Cell had been done multiple times within the span of 1 year. Same goes with an Inferno match that goes with Kane's character, and there was especially no way that they were actually considering going with the exploding ring match that was rumored at the time. So when it comes to the Jericho X-Pac match that would happen here, I do think that Chris Jericho would have retained the Intercontinental Championship in a great opening match between the two. Match number 2 would be a tag team battle royal. In the real timeline, we had the Hardcore Battle Royal for the Hardcore Championship, but I don't think that the title would be featured at all, as I do think that the Holly Cousins would be a team in this match. There were also the matches of Big Boss Man and Bull Buchanan against D'Lo Brown and Godfather, and Head Cheese versus TNA, which would also be scrapped since those teams would be a part of the match. Plus, a lot of the competitors in the Hardcore Battle Royal were in the tag team division anyways, so this would be a match to fill as many people as possible. And I do think for this that TNA would probably be the winners of the match, since they just formed within a month prior and would go on to face the Dudley Boys at Backlash to continue their push. And I do want to clarify that this match is a regular Battle Royal, not what they had in the Hardcore Battle Royal where there is as many pins as possible within a 15-minute time limit. Match number 3 on the card would be Taz versus Kurt Angle for the European Championship. Taz made his debut a couple months prior at Royal Rumble as he went up against Kurt Angle and defeated him in just over 3 minutes using his Taz Mission submission hold. Kurt Angle would go on Raw the following night to express that he is still undefeated due to Taz using what he deemed as an illegal chokehold, leading to Taz coming out to the ring and once again applying the Taz Mission to Kurt Angle and choking him out. I think the direction was to set up a couple of more pay-per-view matches leading to a blow-off match between the two at WrestleMania 2000. However, I think X-Pac declining the match with Chris Jericho is what led to the eventual Eurocontinental Championship triple threat match we had in the real timeline. This would mean that the triple threat match doesn't happen in this timeline, since Kurt Angle doesn't face Chris Jericho and win the Intercontinental Intercontinental Championship from them. For No Way Out, Taz would defeat Kurt Angle and win the European Championship until he doesn't let go of the Taz mission after the match is done, thus making the referee change his decision and have Kurt Angle win by disqualification and retaining the title, thus leading to the match at WrestleMania 2000. A match where it's likely some sort of no disqualification match, so Kurt Angle doesn't retain the title by disqualification again, and it favors towards Taz. However, Kurt Angle overcomes the odds and retains the European Championship against Taz, especially with management deeming Taz as unsafe after the German suplex he did during the match at Royal Rumble and not want to put him over at WrestleMania. Match number 4 would be the Triangle Ladder match for the Tag Team Championships, which had Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudley Boys. There are matches at WrestleMania that should stay the same, and I think we can all agree that the Triangle Ladder match is one of them. As the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Match number 5 on the card would be Terry Reynolds versus the Cat in the Cat Fight. Most of us probably don't want this match to happen, but with this being during the Attitude Era, you knew that some sort of match like this was going to happen. Whether it be a cat fight, pillow fight, bras and panties match, there wasn't going to be a proper women's match on the card of WrestleMania. The only established woman getting a proper match on the card at the time was Chyna, who still has a match in this timeline as well. Which leads to match number 6, which has Chyna and Rikishi against Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero in an intergender tag team match. At No Way Out, Rikishi and Too Cool had a 6-man tag team match with the Radicals where they had won the match. They ended up having another match against each other at WrestleMania 2000, with Chyna taking Rikishi's place as he went on to team with Kane, and Eddie Guerrero replacing Chris Benoit as he was a part of the Intercontinental Championship triple threat match. However, the main story within the feud at this point was Eddie Guerrero trying to win the heart of Chyna with his Latino heat, so I think it was unnecessary to do another 6-person tag team match. Too Cool, Dean Malenko, and Perry Saturn are a part of the tag team battle royal in this timeline, which is why it's a regular intergender tag team match. A singles intergender match could work, but that would leave both Rikishi and Benoit off the card, who were getting over at this time, which is why they're a part of this match. Chyna and Rikishi would end up winning the match the same way as they won the 6-person tag team match, where Chyna would pin Eddie Guerrero, thus protecting Chris Benoit in case he still goes into the Intercontinental Championship scene after this feud is over. Match number 7 would be Undertaker versus The Big Show. Before Undertaker left to recover from his groin injury, he was in a storyline with Big Show as they were the Unholy Alliance. He would constantly bully Big Show around and have him do his deeds. Undertaker was likely going to pick up this storyline from where they last left off when originally returning around Royal Rumble season. There are people out there that believe Big Show was going to get a title match as it was supposedly added to his contract when he signed in early 1999, which I don't believe that to be the case. If that were to be the case, then why did they give away the rumored main event of Big Show versus Stone Cold within the first month of Big Show's run? And the question regarding this match is, who would be the heel and who would be the babyface? With the way that the storyline was going before Undertaker had left, it was clearly going to be Big Show as a babyface, especially having Big Show turn babyface while Undertaker was off and was doing that horrible storyline with Big Boss Man. However, if Big Show still does that storyline with The Rock at No Way Out over the Royal Rumble incident, this could make Big Show as a heel going into the match against Undertaker. Undertaker, before he left, had started planting the seeds for the American Badass character in the way that he started cutting his promos and attires he wore to the ring. Although I don't think he would have officially been the American Badass when returning, I do think the transformation would have been completed at WrestleMania 2000 with Undertaker defeating Big Show and going 9-0 at WrestleMania. Shoutout goes to Jackson Weingart, Jada Sanchez, Fox Starkiller, Mr. Randomizer, and Lola Pines. And the reason that they ended up getting a shoutout is because they joined our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month. Not only do you get the shoutout, but you do get lots of other perks, including early access to every single video and shorts that we produce on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It will be greatly appreciated and it will go a long way of helping out this channel a lot. So definitely consider it, but let's get right back to the video. Match number 8 would be Kane versus Viscera. This match would be advertised as a big man attraction match, as we would see these two collide for the first time ever. And we never saw a one-on-one match between the two until 5 years later at Backlash, right before Viscera became the world's largest love machine. With Kane having finished his feud with X-Pac and Viscera soon being sent to developmental, Kane would be the one that goes over in what likely is a 5-minute match. Then everything involving Kane and Pete Rose for a third year in a row would end up happening. And the main event of the show, the 9th match, would be The Rock versus Triple H versus Stone Cold Steve Austin for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Stone Cold Steve Austin's matches for this event had changed so many times, the first being the Big Show match that I mentioned a bit ago. Then as we got into the summer, it was discussed that it would be Austin versus Triple H, which seemed to be set in stone, with making their SummerSlam match a triple threat with Mankind and having Triple H and Mankind feud throughout the rest of 1999 for filler. Once it was known that The Rock's popularity was pretty much on par with Stone Cold, that's when it seemed that the direction would be the rematch between Austin and Rock from the prior year, by still having The Rock win the 2000 Royal Rumble match. The Austin Triple H feud would conclude likely at Royal Rumble or No Way Out, with Stone Cold winning the title and heading into WrestleMania 2000 as champion to face Rock. The reason that I do have this as a triple threat instead of a one-on-one scenario is that even though Austin would make it to WrestleMania, I do think that he would have still been dealing with his neck issues going into the event, thus needing a third person to join in and lighten the workload for Austin, with Triple H being inserted. Most people think that the Hell in a Cell match with Triple H and Cactus Jack that happened at No Way Out would happen at WrestleMania 2000 for Triple H to have a spot on the card. Had Austin not needed surgery in November, Mick Foley was going to retire around Survivor Series from his injuries over the years and the memory loss issues he was dealing with. The Rock would go over and become the new World Wrestling Federation champion by pinning Triple H, and Stone Cold Steve Austin would leave afterwards to have his neck surgery. Austin would shake The Rock's hand, have a beer or two with him, and pass the torch, as he would be carrying the company while Austin is recovering and missed the rest of 2000. Perhaps returning at Royal Rumble 2001, still winning the match and setting up the one-on-one match we ended up getting at WrestleMania 17.